How's it going, everybody? We're at the Asprey, and today we're going to show you guys how Pierce miraculously got rid of his chipping yips. So welcome everybody to the Asprey. Pierce, how you doing?
I'm good. Hello everybody.
So we thought we'd do this video and just sort of share everybody how you've changed your short game. But let's give everybody some context to why we're doing this and what your short game has been like in the past.
So it's been bad. It's been bad for a while actually, and whether you call it yips or not, so if you don't know what that is, it's kind of like an involuntary move when you're hitting the shots, which can cause directional problems and it can cause strikes. And I think it's the strikes is the main problem when we're talking about these chip shots. But basically on a chip shot like this, hitting the green would be a good shot. At one point when I was playing golf, I think there was even a bit when Tiger came out and he had it for like a month maybe, which is bizarre. He had a 4-iron chip and run, and he was hitting 4-iron chip and run in Arizona, I think it was, and he didn't hit the green with that. So something, I suppose, gets into your mind, and then suddenly your confidence goes. So basically you're over this chip shot here and you're kind of happy to even make it onto the green. Yeah, so confidence is massive on these shots, and I'm sure there's a lot of people watching this video who really struggle with that. Yes. And when they get over a chip shot, and it might only be a 25-yarder like this. Yes. But they really struggle to even just comprehend thinking about getting it towards the hole. They're so focused on maybe just please just strike this golf ball. And you know, I've been there in the past. I know you've been there recently, and it's not a nice place to be. So we've both missed the ball on a chip shot before.
We've both missed the ball on a chip shot.
That sounds crazy when you're talking about a shot here. Mine was on video. We haven't found that footage, and hopefully we can find that footage. That was in Bermuda.
It was funny. I was laughing. So let's talk about the what you've done then. So let's talk about how some of the things that were going on in terms of what were causing the chipping yips, because it's definitely a technical thing. Yeah. Which leads to mental, isn't it? Hey, look,
you know what we're like is we always want to find out why things happen. So I did my best to think back to when this could have happened, and it was actually a pro tournament I was playing. And it's a good story, this is, because it was at the back end of a 340-yard drive, obviously. But it was like a 50-yard pitch, and I've hit this 50-yard pitch, and I've actually missed the green to the right with a 50-yard pitch. I mean, it was a narrowish green, but it was still a really bad golf shot, and I'm going, what on earth was that? And I'm kind of thinking that was maybe the one thing that was an issue. So basically, it started for me missing left and right. So maybe we should go on the technique and why that happened as well. So what I've generally always done as a golfer, which has helped me, I believe has helped me with distance, is I've had a strong club face throughout my golf swing. So a strong club face throughout the backswing when you're playing a chip shot could be a problem, because the natural thing that probably wants to happen is it wants to go to the left. Actually, sometimes it would go even further left than that. So I suppose what had happened in my mind, that shot at South Staffs actually, I'd hit it to the right because I'd obviously hit a few pitch shots to the left, then suddenly I've done one of those, and then I'm like going, okay, where's it going to go on a chip shot? And then it got to the point then where the contact was definitely compromised. And then you start changing different things, and how can you actually fix it? So then I was basically scared to hit the ground. So I've gone from missing it left and right to then going, well, I'm actually really scared to hit the ground now. So when I was hitting a shot, if I caught the ground at all, that club was digging in, and the divot was a big short divot, and the ball may end up over there. And then the next shot you hit, you don't want to hit the ground, and you top it and it goes through the back of the green. So obviously striking, we're talking the main thing here. Yes. Why would your club dig in when it was hitting the ground? Talk about sort of what the difference is and show what impact would look like to the front on camera. Yeah, okay. So again, if we look at this here, again, we talk about this leading edge, we talk about this club face being strong on the way back. Now, the only way that you can really come back in with a square face is by getting a lot of shaft lean. Now, we know when Phil Mickelson plays his shots that he does really well with this, but he's obviously a very confident guy who's practiced this a lot. It only takes a few shots with that club face being that strong, the shaft being leant forward, and that leading edge, which is very active now in digging into the ground. You can see when I'm hitting the ground now, that club is going to stop very quickly. So as soon as you do a few of those, I'll actually see if I can actually do one now where I hit the ground before the ball. So that one's just about made it onto the green. I did well there, but I hit the ground here and the ball was here. Now, if the ground's a little softer than this, I'm not even hitting the ball with that shot. I'm not even hitting the golf ball round. And it's almost like a vicious circle, this is, because you said, Pierce, that you were scared to hit the ground. Yes. So that makes you really focus hard on really trying to be precise and hit the ball. Yes, of course. Okay, and that sounds really strange here, but the more you are precisely wanting to hit the golf ball, the worse it becomes, doesn't it? So talk a little bit about that as well. Yeah, I mean, look, so the thing is from here, if you're trying to clip that golf ball off the top when that club always wants to dig into the ground, you've only got to be a fraction out. So you've only got to be a little bit out. If you just catch the golf ball slightly higher up than what you need, it's going 20 foot, 30 foot past. And I think it's the vicious circle of, if you hit the duff, you duff it in front. The next thing you want to do is not duff it, so you thin it and it goes through the back. And it's like, well, which one of these now am I going to get when I'm about to play the shot? Yeah. So again, basically scared to hit the ground. So what I had to do to myself is I had to understand, what was it going to be like to hit the ground? What was required in order for me to hit the ground and still hit a good golf shot? The main ways for me and how I've done this, I've actually adapted 2 shots. Okay, so the first shot is a shot where it actually goes, this would be my high option. So whether it's my 56 degree, which I have here, or 60, or even a 64, if I want to hit it a little bit higher on a chip shot, I'll play it like a putt, in that I'll get the shaft, I'll lean it back so it's more at my sort of belly button area. I'll actually take my grip on the golf club and splay my elbows a little bit. So it kind of looks like I'm hitting a putt here. So now when I'm hitting the ground, I'm returning the shaft hopefully back to pretty much where it started. That's what I'm looking to achieve with this. So I'm expecting with this one here, all I'm doing is rocking the shoulders. I'm expecting to see a higher flight. So rock the shoulders, brush the ground, it pops up a little bit higher. I actually caught that one a little bit too heavy there.
So the important thing on this now is that Pierce is actually trying to hit the ground. He wants to hit the ground on these shots. And this is what we talk about so much, about rather than you focusing on trying to be super precise and hit the golf ball, focus on hitting the ground. But the thing that is so important is, if we hit the ground, we need to be offering a good bounce angle so the club slides as opposed to digging in, which is Pierce is saying here. He's getting the shaft back, he's making sure that he can present a decent loft, but most importantly, a decent bounce on the club to glide along the ground.
Just pop that camera down here and have a look at where I hit the ground with this one. So I'm going to hit the ground before the golf ball, and let's see what happens when I hit this shot. It wasn't that much before, was it? Let's do another one.
Well, there's a great example. You're trying to hit the ground first.
Yeah.
Trying to hit the ground first, and it did just about land before the golf ball.
Okay, so let's go again. I'm really looking to hit the ground here on this one.
There you go.
Okay, perfect. And I don't know if you saw the height on that one. Very high, stops very quickly. Ball was probably there.
Yeah.
Hit the ground about there.
2 inches behind the golf ball.
A year ago, if I'd have done that, it's there. So this is something I've had, look, whether it's been, I've actually had a few golf pros, and this is something that goes with golf pros. You know, golf pros I've had a few golf pros who've come to me and gone, I really do struggle with chipping. And this has actually been the go-to shot that I've given them. This has been the shot that I've said, look, let's just get the club and the ground, let's make them friends again, as opposed to obviously enemies. And I think that's definitely really important to understand how to use that bounce and be comfortable hitting the ground again.
So that's one technique, Pierce.
That's the one.
So that's sort of playing it like a putt, getting the shaft leaning back. Anything else?
Yeah, so I'll go with a slightly lower one because that's great for the height, but sometimes it pops up for me and it can actually stop a little short. So what I'm doing with the next one, this is going to sound, you have to listen to the whole end of this one. So I'm going to put the golf ball back, I'm going to lean the shaft forward. Okay, so straight away you're going, hang on a bit, we're going to recreate what I don't want. But the key is with this shot for me, when I'm hitting this shot, as I swing down with the intention of hitting the golf ball, I'm feeling as though my body is coming up. Now again, I need to explain this. So my left leg feels like it is coming up and straightening a little bit. My left shoulder feels like it is coming up as it goes, as I swing through the golf ball. So it's very difficult to take a big divot if your whole left side is coming up as you're turning through. So again, here's me hitting these divots. I'm hitting the ground, but I'm not taking out any mud. So I'll actually hit a shot. So again, from here, look at the left shoulder, look at the left leg, and you can see it all just pops up. And I can now still get a little bit of that interaction with the ground because the club is not going all the way deep down into the ground. But again, look at this left side, it comes up, golf ball goes a little bit lower and it's going to run a little bit more. That for me is just as useful as the other shot as well.
Just one more thing about the backswing, Pierce. You mentioned it to me the other day about minimising the wrists.
Yes, of course, of
course.
So
just talk about that a little bit as well.
Yeah, again, I don't really feel that when I'm hitting these shots that from here, as I'm swinging back, there really doesn't feel like there's a lot going on. So when I'm hitting, obviously, this shot here, the higher lofted shot with the putting stroke, if we look at where the club goes, the club shaft is again pretty much pointing at the belly button throughout. It's almost like it's a belly wedge and it's attached to the body. That's the feeling I'm trying to get when I'm hitting these shots. When I'm putting the ball back and leaning the shaft forward, again, the club is pointing left of my belly button, but again, it's still pointing in a very similar place on the way back. And as I go through, it's again in a very similar place. I am not doing this and I'm not doing this.
And that's where you used to be.
Yes, of course. And you can do that and it can work. Hey, guess what? When I was an amateur golfer and when I first turned pro, I was a good chipper and I was doing that technique, but it only takes a few bad ones to get into your head and it can affect you for sure.
Yeah, you can lose that confidence. Okay, we've got one more ball then, Pierce. There's a few near the flag.
Just a quick one as well, what you need to do as well, sorry, going into this, you need to experiment in different lies is the first thing I would say. So don't always put it on a nice lie. So what I would do as well is throw down 10 golf balls into an area, wherever they lie you play them from, and then I would score. So my objective would be, I'd put the flat, we've done this before, but you put the club head in the hole with your wedge, that's 3 feet from the hole. I'd spin it out the other side, I've now got 6 feet. If I get it inside 3 feet, I get 2 points. If I put it inside 6 feet to 3 feet, I get 1 point. It's a Dave Pelt's test. It's something that he's worked really well. And I think that for me, I don't get loads of time to practice, but when I was doing this, I made sure that I put some pressure on my practice.
Okay, right, one more shot then, Pierce.
So I'm going with a slightly lower one here again.
One here.
Watch this left side.
Very nice. And it's, you know, it's nice to see, good shot. So it's nice to see now, Pierce, that let's say maybe 6 to 12 months ago, you wouldn't have been able to do this. You wouldn't have confidently been able to play these shots, but now you can see that the technique looks better, the confidence is higher.
You've got to find a way of giving yourself a technique that works, and that one there for me, the putting one and the left side up are the two ones that have worked for me, but then you've got to put it under pressure and you've got to test it in different lies.
Exactly, make sure you practice under pressure. Hopefully guys, there's been some benefit from you there. I think a lot of you guys from chipping will have experienced some confidence issues, some striking issues, and there's definitely some things there that Pierce has done from not necessarily just reading from a textbook. This is experience of what he's gone through to get rid of them. So some of these things, if you have a go and do what he said there, they definitely may help you.
I think the thing I'd like you to do now as well is if you've gone through this yourself or if you're currently going through this, please comment down below what sort of things you're trying and we'll let you know whether that's a good things to work at. And I've got several of the ways I've done this with other people, so it'd be really, and you, obviously yourself has as well. And we can go through this with you, no problem at all.
Guys, hope that helps. Make sure you post any comments, as he said, down below, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for loads of videos to definitely help your game, and we'll see you next time.